A few years ago I was in Chile, and Cryan gave a channeling that really was profound, and I had no idea what it meant. He said the Kundalini of the planet was moving to Chile. I didn't even know there was such a thing, and I didn't know that it was somewhere else. So he went on to say that this is the heart center spiritually of the planet, and it resided in India and Tibet since any of us were born for hundreds of years. If you look at India and Tibet, what do you think that is there? Well, you see very spiritual people. In fact, that is the emphasis, I think, of their culture, spirituality. That is moving. It's coming to Chile and Peru. Now, why that would be, I don't know. But here you have the heart center of the planet moving to where you live. People have asked, well, what is it going to mean to Chileans? And does it affect the earth? And what can we expect? Well, first of all, let us look at where it was. And I think that that's something you can expect. You can expect an increase in spirituality, perhaps spiritual maturity. Cryan has even given other information. It has nothing to do with the Kundalini moving, but he has talked about the anchors of South America at the top and the bottom, the Colombia-Chile alignment. And what he means by that is these are anchors of maturity. Perhaps a day when this continent will have, like the Europeans do, a one currency system, no dictators, solid governments all working together, a very strong economy. This is very promising to hear, and I know that you feel that way, and maybe it's even in your lifetime, and it is doable.
You don't know what's happening here.
Ustedes no saben lo que está pasando aquí.
You don't know what you're allowing here.
No saben lo que están permitiendo que se dé aquí.
And so let me begin to tell you the story about love.
Así que permítanme contarles la historia del amor.
Such a large word meaning so many things.
Es una palabra tan amplia que tiene tantos significados.
So many of your cultures have so many different kinds of word for love.
En tantas de sus culturas tienen tantas palabras diferentes para referirse al amor.
Here are two attributes of love.
Ustedes son dos atributos del amor
that are interdimensional.
Que son interdimensionales.
The first is this.
El primero es el siguiente.
Love is the only energy that passes untouched through the veil when you come into this planet.
El amor es la única energía que pasa a través del velo sin ser tocada cuando entran ustedes a este planeta.
Untouched.
Sin ser tocada.
Love on the other side of the veil.
El amor del otro lado del velo
is the same as it is here.
Es exactamente igual que como es aquí.
There's more of it there.
Hay más amor allá.
For we have said that at the center of every atom you will find the love of God.
Porque hemos dicho que en el centro de cada átomo encontrarán el amor de Dios.
And you have duality here.
Aquí ustedes tienen dualidad.
So it's not as powerful.
Así que no es tan poderoso.
But it's just as pure.
Pero es igual de puro.
Here is the other attribute that's interdimensional about love.
He aquí el otro atributo interdimensional del amor.
Where there is love,
en donde hay amor,
there can be no darkness.
No puede haber oscuridad.
Have you noticed how it responds with light?
¿Se han dado cuenta cómo responde con luz?
Have you noticed that it has some of the same attributes of light?
¿Se han dado cuenta cómo el amor tiene los mismos atributos que la luz?
You cannot have a war in the middle of a love fest.
No pueden tener una guerra en medio de un festival de amor.
You cannot hate one another when there is love between you.
No puede haber odio entre una persona y otra cuando hay amor entre ellos.
And so therefore we say there is a property of love that many don't really understand.
Por lo tanto decimos que el amor tiene una propiedad que muchos no entienden.
It chases away the dark.
Hace que la oscuridad salga corriendo.
People want to know, well, will this Kundalini create any kind of physical change? I don't think so. If you're asking about, for instance, are there going to be more earthquakes because of it? The answer is no. There may be more earthquakes because of something else, and that's another question. But not the Kundalini. You can expect mother energy. You know, the Kundalini is mother love energy. It's heart. That's a nice thing to expect, is it not? So why is it moving? It's because of the shift. It's time. I believe it. I think it's part of what Cryon talked about 21 years ago, when he talked about a tremendous consciousness shift on this planet that would surprise all of us, that would move us into areas we never would expect.
So many kinds of love on the planet.
Hay tantos tipos diferentes de amor en el planeta.
Let's look at the obvious one.
Veamos la forma obvia.
Love between human beings in a relationship.
El amor entre los seres humanos en una relación.
Beautiful it is.
Es hermoso.
It touches each heart. It does.
Toca cada uno de los corazones, así es.
And almost every human being on the planet experiences it at least one time, maybe more.
Casi todos los seres humanos tienen esa experiencia por lo menos una vez.
Imagine looking into the eyes of the one that you truly love.
Imagínate ver a la persona que realmente amas directamente a los ojos.
Your soulmate.
El compañero, la compañera de alma.
We have even said in the past that love between human beings creates a certain kind of insanity.
Sí, incluso hemos dicho en algunas canalizaciones que el amor entre seres humanos crea un cierto tipo de locura.
You lose the reference to the real world.
Uno pierde la referencia con el mundo real.
You do odd things and run into things.
Hacen cosas raras, chocan con cosas.
When you're in love,
cuando están enamorados,
there's nothing like it.
No hay nada como el amor.
That's only one kind of love.
Ese solo es un tipo de amor.
Let me tell you what's happening. Cryon speaks of the water cycle. Others call it global warming. Cryon criticizes those who do, saying that this is a jump to conclusion. There is no such thing as global warming. What you're seeing is a water cycle. The water warms and cools on a cycle that is far, far longer than a human lifespan. So we have not seen it in our lifetime. However, there's evidence that it happened in the 1400s. We can tell by the rings of the trees and some of the other things that geologists see. So this is a cycle that has happened and it's back, and it will create a warming and a cooling. We'll actually go into a what you want to call a mini ice age. Don't worry about it. It's not going to affect us. It's just going to be colder after it's warmer. And it's a long cycle. You may not be alive long enough to see us cool up, to see it cool up, but Cryon says that's what's going on. He mentions the fact that the ice caps are melting, and they're not melting because of the air getting warmer. They're melting underneath. Now, geologists will tell you that's so. And these ice caps are then melting and redistributing the weight of the water around the planet. So it's going from ice to water. It's going from being at the poles to a more even distribution. And that creates earthquakes because I would say the crust of the earth is a shell. Like an eggshell, they say. It's almost like that thin when you look at it in comparison to the planet and an egg. And so when you redistribute the weight of the water, which is most of what is there, you kind of expect some adjustments. So it's going to be more earthquakes. And it has nothing to do with any catastrophes coming. It has to do with the water cycle.
The love between family members.
El amor entre los miembros de la familia.
Between brothers and sisters, and
entre
brothers and
hermanos
brothers.
Y hermanas, entre hermanos y hermanos,
Sisters and sisters.
hermanas y hermanas.
That lasts all through a lifetime.
Una alma que dura toda la vida, un amor que dura toda la vida.
No matter what happens, there is this blood bond that lasts for a lifetime.
Independientemente de lo que pase, está este vínculo sanguíneo que dura toda la vida.
And you love each other because you're from the same family.
Y se aman los unos al otro porque pertenecen a la misma familia.
It's strong.
Es algo fuerte.
A different kind of love.
Es otro tipo de amor.
It's strong.
Muy fuerte.
What about the love of the earth?
¿Y el amor a la tierra? ¿Qué pasa con el amor a la tierra?
And the things upon it.
Y el amor a las cosas que están sobre la tierra.
Some of you walk into the forest and you love the trees.
Algunos caminan entre los bosques y aman a los árboles.
You feel a personal draw to their energy.
Se sienten atraídos de forma personal hacia la energía de los árboles.
Some of you can go into the mountains and weep with their beauty and their majesty.
Algunos pueden ir a la montaña y llorar al ver la belleza y la majestuosidad de las
You call it
montañas.
the love of Gaia.
A esto le llaman el amor a Gaia.
That's a specific kind of love.
Es un tipo específico